Senator Ping Lacson. Senator Lacson, good morning to you.
Hi, Karen. Good morning. And to the viewers, good morning as well.
All right, welcome back to Head Start, Senator Lacson. It's been a while. So I want to ask you, are you taking this all the way to the Supreme Court?
It depends, because if there is clear grave abuse of discretion, Rule 65 shall apply. So the Supreme Court may step in to intervene.
Now, Senator Lacson, it seems to be there's going to be a stalemate in the Senate, no? Because the majority is a majority by a slim number, only 13, and Senator Bato de la Rosa is not there. So halimbawa mag-walk out ang lahat ng minority in issues that are debatable or you don't agree on, laging walang quorum, walang 13. Tama po ba yun, Senator?
It doesn't follow, because right now there are 12 minus Bato de la Rosa. So it cannot, if nobody is left in the session hall to question the quorum and to move for adjournment due to lack of quorum, then there'll be 12, and if nobody questions the quorum, then they can proceed, because the quorum that will apply would be the initial roll call when the session opens. So hindi ganun yun. The only reason why we were able, or Tito Sen was able to question the quorum is because Senator Chis Escudero was not in plenary at the time. He was not on the floor. So there were only 11, and Tito Sen was the 12th senator on the floor. And since the presence of at least 13 senators is required, or was required at the time, he was able to move for adjournment due to lack of quorum.
Only because Senator Chis Escudero was not on the floor. All right. What if ang mangyari, Senator Lacson, is 12 sila, nandun si Senator Escudero nung mga oras na yon? Pag ganun po ba, dapat pati si former Senate President Tito Soto, he should have walked out with a minority?
No. Pag nag-walk out din siya, naiwan doon ng 12. Ang recognized na quorum, yung nag-answer ng roll call, calling of the roll, when the session opened.
So it seems right now, because this is being discussed all over by...
Karen, sorry. Maski 12 lang sila, kung wala magko-question ng quorum, and I'm sure nobody will question the quorum. Kasi sila lahat yun, nasa majority. So, ang makikerry na marirecognize sa quorum, yung initial calling of the roll.
Okay, because this is discussed in several pages right now on what exactly will constitute a quorum, and what's commonly said is 13. Yun pala, kapag buong minority nag-walk out, tapos 12 ang naiwan sa majority, ay magiging quorum pa rin yun, kasi what will be recognized was the first call out. Did I understand that properly, Senator?
Perfect. That's clear enough. Yun ang re-recognize na quorum.
All right. Okay. Now, amending the rules. What should have been the rule in amending the rules?
Okay. There are two possible situations. Meron kaming mga resolutions introduced, and right there and then, sa session hall, dinidiscuss, in-interpolate, and then ina-adapt na namin yon without the benefit of referral to a committee. In this case, that's why I clarified during my interpellation, I clarified I asked about the status of the motion introduced by Senator Marcoleta last May 11. And it was acknowledged because I was also holding the copy of the journal of May 11. Naka-indicate naman talaga doon na naka-refer sa Committee on Rules. So to be sure, I asked the acting majority leader kung na-refer ba sa Committee on Rules, and Senator Villanueva acknowledged that indeed it was referred to the Committee on Rules. In that case, Rule 24 of our rules shall apply. Na pagka na-refer sa committee, ang ibig sabihin, action was taken in plenary. And therefore, the committee on rules takes jurisdiction. So pag nasa jurisdiction ng committee, meron kami sa Rule 24 na yung motion or resolution shall be discussed, deliberated by the members of the committee, and then i-report out sa plenary, doon pa namin pagdidebatihan ulit. In another issue consider another case na yung sinabi ko na nag-introduce ng resolution sa floor, then like commendations commending athletes who won gold medals normally hindi na namin nire-refer sa committee. Agad-agad sa floor merong motion to adopt the resolution, especially if it is a joint resolution by so many senators. So konting discussion, konting interpellation, kung walang amendments, right there and then, pwede namin i-adopt. So walang referral yon. Yun ang nire-refer nila sa Rule 136. Kaya hindi kami magkaintindihan because Senate President Cayetano kept on invoking Rule 136 of our rules, and I kept invoking 24. I told him, or I told the body, that 136 has not applied yet or will not apply for that matter, because clearly it was referred to the Committee on Rules.
At ang Committee on Rules, sa totoo lang, I'll say it in Filipino, even if there is already a Committee on Rules, it was referred, it has not convened formally yet because wala pang minority members doon sa Committee on Rules.
Maski walang minority members, wala pa rin majority members. It has not been constituted yet, period. Wala pa nga chairman eh. Si Senator Villanueva is only acting majority leaders or acting chairman of the Committee on Rules. So even if hindi pa na-constitute at na-refer ito sa committee, we should have waited for the Committee on Rules to be constituted. Then, saka ite-take up yung motion sa committee level. And then whoever will be the members of the Committee on Rules magdi-deliberate in a committee hearing or 2 or 3 committee hearings. And pagka nagkasundo sila, the chairman will gather enough signatures, majority of all members, and then i-report out yan sa floor. Pagdating sa floor, i-sponsor ng chairman ng Committee on Rules, who is also the majority leader, tapos magdidebate pa uli kami doon. And then we could introduce amendments. In this case, actually, hindi pa kami umaabot doon sa substantive issue. Yung merit ng yung proposed amendments ni Senator Marcoleta, because we were still debating on the procedure, which apparently they wouldn't follow. Kasi alam mo, Karen, maisingit ko lang, yung sa training namin sa military, especially sa leadership training namin, this is about conflict and rules. Conflict arises due to several reasons. Number one, there are no rules. Of course, meron kaming rules of the Senate. Ang number two, merong rules, pero hindi naman ito na-explain mabuti. Meron nga rules na-explain na mabuti, hindi naman naintindihan. And then, meron nga rules naintindihan ito, pero hindi naman sinusunod. So, in our situation last Tuesday, merong rules na-explain naman, naintindihan naman namin, pero ayaw sundin. So, nandun yung bone of contention. Kaya hindi pa nga kami umabot. But then, if you notice, Karen, di ba? Repeatedly, sinasabi lagi ni Senate President Cayetano, let's divide the House. No, I'm reminded of a famous, this is an expression, parang joke among lawyers, di ba? Parang when the facts are on your side, then pound the facts. Tapos, when the law is on your side, pound the law. Pero pagka yung wala sa side mo yung facts at saka yung law, pound the table. In this case, pagka yung wala sa kanila yung facts, wala sa kanila yung rules namin, wala sa side nila eh. Kaya ang solution nila is to move to divide the House. So ayaw na mag-deliberate doon sa pagbotohan na because of the tyranny of numbers. Pero yung rule naman, nasa side namin, nasa kanila yung numero. So anong solution? We decided to walk out. Kasi nagbilang na kami that time, nagbubulungan na kami tatlo, Senator Risa, Senator Tito, at saka ako. So, and Senator Subiri. So we started counting. We were 9 because Lito Lapid and Rafi Tulfo were not present. From 11, naging 9 kami. Kung hindi kami alis, meron kaming quorum because 9 plus 11, that would be what? 20. Kasi tatlo yung wala. Senator Chi, Senator Rafi, Senator Lapid. So may quorum kami doon. Kung aalis kaming 8, maiwanan si Tito Sen, maiwanan sila, maski present sila lahat, wala si Senator Chi, so 11 sila. So 12 member ng Senate si Tito Sen. So 30 naman yung majority, yung quorum. So that's what happened.
Now, some would consider that as a masterful political stroke, the walkout. Nung nag-uusap-usap kayong tatlo, I'm curious, sino sa inyo ang nagsabing mag-walkout na tayo? Who thought of that idea?
Tito Sen. Tapos
Tito Sen.
ang nag-propose din si Senator Migs. Pero initially, kasi nung ginulat din kami, binigla rin kami ni Senate President Cayetano kasi nag-caucus sila na matagal. We had a long break or suspension ng session. Nag-caucus muna kami, all senators caucus. We talked about we firmed up the schedule of the impeachment trial and other matters like yung jurisdiction sa investigation ng Senate, etc. After that, they referred to the room of Senator Cayetano. Doon sila nag-meeting. Ang tagal nun. So we were wondering, we had no idea what they were discussing. And then we realized when we resumed session, biglang nag-distribute si Senator Alan ng kopya noong 2 proposed amendments ni Senator Marcoleta. Doon na kami nag-usap-usap, nagbulungan na kami. Sabi ko, masama na yung plano nito. So I suggested to Tito Sen, sabi niya, questioning ko yung, actually 2 steps yung naisip namin. Meron kaming fallback position pa. Assuming na hindi na magkaroon ng quorum, ang gagawin ni Tito Sen, he would vote in favor of the motion of Senator Marcoleta para magkaroon siya ng opportunity na mag-move for reconsideration on Monday. Kasi under our rules, again, if a member has voted in favor of a resolution or a motion, then meron kaming binibigyan kami ng 2 session days to move for reconsideration. If you vote against a resolution or a motion, then wala kang karapatan na mag-move for reconsideration. That's in our rules. So yun ang aming fallback position. Ang first position is to question the quorum. No? Kaya we started counting. Yung una, sabi ko sa kanya, ako na muna yung mag-interpolate para we can more or less strategize pa muna while I was interpolating. And I think I had very valid arguments, Karen, because I pointed out, because I pulled out the copy of the journal number 62, dated May 11. Maliwanag doon talagang na-refer sa Committee on Rules. But to be sure, I wanted it validated on the floor right there and then. So I asked that question and it was validated.
Okay.
So I was invoking Rule 24 because ang sinasabi ko, baliwanag sa rules natin, pag nasa committee na ito, discuss natin sa committee, hindi po pwedeng i-ram down yung sa throat namin yan na walang committee report. Pero si Senator Alan, the astute politician that he is, magaling sa debate, in-invoke niya yung 136, which to my mind, and I think other former senators or even current senators will agree, na hindi applicable yung 136 kasi nga referred na sa Committee on Rules. Kung walang referral, wala kaming laban doon. Talagang pwedeng i-discuss na namin sa floor.
So, Senator, has there ever been an instance in the history of the Senate wherein an urgent matter or a matter was referred to the Committee on Rules and hypothetically the Committee on Rules either sat on it, took too much time, and the Senate felt that it had to be already discussed on the floor and Rule 136 was already implemented. Nangyari na ba yun sa kasaysayan ng Senado?
Hindi pa, never. Ano nangyayari? Pag inupuan ng chairman ng committee, hindi sa Committee on Rules, pagka pwedeng i-discharge yung chairman, umalis ka dyan kasi hindi mo inaksyonan yung if somebody makes a motion. At sabihin na, inuupuan yung aking bill o motion o resolution, kaya kung pwedeng i-discharge natin yung chairman at palitan siya, mag-appoint ng subcommittee or whatever. Pero hindi pa nangyari yung naka-refer sa committee, walang action yung committee, tapos biglang ite-take up sa floor. That's a no-no. That's against our rules. Very clear yon.
Oo.
So kaya nga kami nagkahabaan ng debate along that line, on that issue.
Okay. And then, of course, you have a tweet that's now going around and it's viral. And your tweet reads, "It's the rules, stupid." So we're showing that tweet right now on television. And this all started with Senator Marcoleta saying, yun nga, kung walang legal background, ang hirap, parang ganon. And of course, Senator Risa Ontiveros immediately lambasted that. It seems that your exchanges with Marcoleta have been getting, I would have to say, getting more heated. Would that be the right description from the flood control investigation to now?
Let me clarify, Karen. No? Idiomatic expression yan eh. Yan yung parang kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. It's the economy, stupid. No? It's like, it is not intended to be meant literally. No, expression niya ng mga tao para bang pag sinabi mong break the ice, hindi naman ibig sabihin magpupukpok ka ng yelo Pag sinabi mong break the ice, di ba, start a conversation. Pag sinabi mo halimbawang hit the sack, di ba, matulog ka na. So it hindi intended to insult, hindi yan personal insult, ano. Ang ano diyan is it's an idiomatic, parang sinasabi, focus on the rules. Because in-invoke niya parang law. Pero kaya sabi ko, it's the rules, stupid. Mag-focus tayo sa rules. Hindi ko ibig sabihin na stupido siya.
Yeah.
But if he will take it literally, then that's his call.
Well, you're right about that because that idiom became famous during former U.S. President Bill Clinton's time, right?
Yeah.
When somebody said it's the economy, stupid, the economy was doing well, so he was not impeached during that time. But moving forward, Senator Marcoleta might bring this up on Monday. There is a possibility. And he may say, he may call your language unparliamentarian.
Well, that's his call. If he, if he takes it to mean literally, I said, no, ano niya, call niya yon. Pero ang sinasabi ko nga right now, and then and when I tweeted it, yun talaga yung meaning noon. No, hindi ito literal na meaning na stupido siya. At sinasabi ko lang,
now
hindi
on Monday,
pinag-usapan natin dito. Yeah. Pinag-usapan natin dito.
I wanted to ask you.
Hindi law. Yeah.
Yes. No, on Monday, just to close, what is your strategy? There's a big possibility, of course, that they will make sure that Senator Cheese Escudero is going to be present on Monday. All right? Okay. So, anong plano ng minorya kung 12 na ang majority on Monday?
Look, Karen, sa Senate, wala kaming cloture. Sa House meron. Parang limited sila sa 30 minutes. So we'll keep debating, we'll keep asking questions, we'll keep interpolating, and we will introduce amendments if it comes to that. If they disregard Rule 24 and insist na hindi, nandun tayo sa 136 and then divide the House, so matatalo kami sa botohan, then so be it. Talagang tyranny of numbers yan tyranny of the majority talaga. We're in a democracy. So may problema kami doon, pero ang next move namin, kung talagang pilitin nila, is probably minority members will have the option to bring the case before the Supreme Court. Kasi sabi ko nga, and I heard Senator Dillon, when you interviewed him, na basta't merong grave abuse of discretion, pwedeng pumasok ang Supreme Court. Like in the case of Alvin Balag, remember, we investigated the hazing of Acho Castillo, and then we cited in contempt of the committee si Balag. But then he went to the Supreme Court and questioned his continued detention. So ang jurisprudence na nag-exist, and it was within the power of the Senate and the Congress na mag-cite in contempt of the committee and or the Senate or Congress, and then ipa-detain. Pero nilipit na ng Supreme Court yun. At sinabi ng Supreme Court, hey, sobra na yan kasi yung case ni Arnold, para nakalimutan siya sa Muntinlupa. Ilang taon na, nakailang congresses na, nandun pa siya. So the Supreme Court deemed it wise to limit the powers of Congress. So pwede rin gawin ng Supreme Court yun, mag-step in, mag-intervene because clearly merong grave abuse of discretion. And that's the only reason why the Supreme Court would enter into the picture. Kasi merong grave abuse of discretion. The other, of course, the other option would be for the Supreme Court not to step in, sabihin la, wala kaming pakialam sa internal rules ninyo. So, it's up to the Supreme Court actually, but yun ang final option namin. Kung talagang pipilitin kami na i-adapt or implement yung ganong klaseng rule, which to us is unacceptable. You know, Karen, unahan ko na kasi gagamitin nila ito sa amin. When Laila de Lima was incarcerated in Camp Rame, ako co-authored yung resolution along with Senator Drilon and other senators to allow Senator de Lima to participate in committee hearings and plenary sessions. But that's all there was to it, participate. I don't think kasama sa resolution namin na she could vote. But of course, nandun din sa consideration namin, kailangan meron siyang leave of court because yung kanyang legal custody nasa RTC at the time. Ang legal custodian niya, yung court. And then meron pa siyang physical custodian that yung permission nila should also be sought or, we should have their permission. In this case, assuming hypothetical ito, Karen, I'd like to make clear, baka ma-misunderstood na naman. Now, we're not praying, we're not hoping that one or two or three of our colleagues would go to jail. No? Pero kung mangyari yon, say, kung today, because it's not a holiday, nasabi na rin ni Ombudsman Remulla, na today, i-refer na nila yung kaso ni Senator Jingo Estrada sa Sandigan Bayan. So give or take 24 to 48 hours, baka ma-issue ng warrant. So by Monday, the ratio would be 11 against 11 because right now they're 12 because Senator Bato is not available. So magiging 11 and 11 kami. So gano'n na maging situation. Hindi lang mapipilit sa floor yung ma-adapt yung resolution kung walang quorum. Kasi gano'n din ang gagawin namin pag pinilit nila. May iwanan yung minority leader. Yun, a repeat of what happened last Tuesday. Now, assuming that in 2 weeks, kasi in-announce din ni Ombudsman Remulla ito, si Senator Villanueva, what if in 2 weeks, naipal din yung information, na-issue din siya ng warrant, the ratio would now be 11 and 10. So effectively, we will be the majority. While they have the Senate President on their side, but they would only be 10, kaming 11. So what happens sa Karen is, we'll be controlling all the committees because we will move to declare all the chairmanships of all committees vacant and then we will re-elect the chairpersons. So that's an awkward situation, but that's the reality. Because
so technically, no, technically, Senator Lacson, kumbaga, in the beginning, I know that the minority was trying to win some members of the majority to move to the minority, but it seems parang makakatulong sa inyo in effect pag naglabas ng warrant ang ombudsman. Ang mangyayari noon, without the minority doing anything, you can technically change the Senate President. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
It takes 13 votes to elect a Senate President or to oust a sitting Senate President. But it only takes a simple majority to elect the chairman or the chairpersons of the committee. Pero Senate President, so kung gano'n ang situation, ang scenario, Senator Cayetano will be limited to a mere presiding officer. But he does not control the Senate. Because the controlling number would be 11, as it is now, against 10. Of the former majority because mag-change na yung magsisip yung majority sa minority ngayon. Now, ang assumption diyan, another assumption is what if one or two moved over or crossed over to the minority now, So magiging 13, we can change the Senate President. Pero kung 12 lang, hindi pwedeng mapalitan yung Senate President because under our rules, 13 talaga yung votes, ano? To just like in an
Oo.
impeachment trial or sa ratification of treaties, we need two-thirds votes. So in the case
Yeah.
of the impeachment trial, maski pa 20 lang yung senators na available, 16 pa rin yung kailangan to convict. Ganon din sa ratification. So talaga 16 because
Oo.
two-thirds
So,
is an absolute number.
oo. De, tatagalugin ko yun, no, para for our viewers and listeners. So kahit magbago pa ang numero ng mga senador na nasa plenaryo, yung pagpalit ng leader, 13 talaga. Yung pag-convict, 16 talaga. Ganun talaga yun. So
Correct.
let's say kahit 20 kayong maiwan doon, hindi magbabago yung numero ng 2/3. Basta 16 yun.
Kaya nga, yung unavailability ni Senator Bato de la Rosa will not help those who are advocating to convict VP Sara. Kasi ang abstention is counted as an acquittal. Kasi hindi naman
Okay,
sinabing,
go on.
hindi naman sinabing 8 dapat ang mag-acquit. Ang sinabi, 16 dapat ang mag-convict.
All right. Okay. So my last question is the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. You were the chairman of that. And you now believe in a way that you are vindicated because of the ombudsman's announcements on the charges to be filed, Senator Lacson?
Yes, fortunately and unfortunately, the findings and recommendations of the Blue Ribbon Committee under my watch vindicated clearly. Kasi yun din ang recommendation namin. The same government officials, the same private contractors, the same employees and officials of the DPWH. Yan pa rin yun yung may indict Yan yung papailan ng kaso. So, in a manner of speaking, yung findings and recommendations namin, although it was not adopted on the floor because kulang nga ng signatures among the majority members, indicated because eksakto yung recommendation namin as painful as it is, I don't get the pleasure na yung mga kasamahan ko naharap sa kaso at makukulong kasi most of them are my friends kaya nga napaka-thankless job yung pagiging chairman ko noon and sinasabi nila kaya nga nawalan ako ng kaibigan, nakakreate pa ako ng kaaway. So, hindi ito pleasure para sa akin, Karen. I want to make that clear. Ang tingin nila sa akin, kontrabida. Pero, binigyan niyo ako ng trabaho, kung mamimili ako, maging selective, hindi ko susundan yung ebidensya, para ano pa ako na-chairman ng Blue Ribbon? Kanya-kanyang pananaw Kaya nga nung may nagsabi sa amin, one reason why then Senate President Soto was ousted, ang sabi, unang-una, dalawang reasons Hindi siya marunong mag-alaga ng mga kasamahan. Tapos yung pangalawa, yung Blue Ribbon kasi. So sabi ko, anong kasalanan namin dalawa ni Tito Sen? Unang-una, wala namang bilyon si Tito Sen na government funds para ipamudmud. Kung gano'n na magiging reason why he was ousted, then so be it. No? That's the reality. At kung ang reason, dahil hindi ako nakisama, hindi ko pinangalagaan yung aking, hindi ko pinagtakpan. Sabihin natin pinagtakpan. Kung gano'n ang dahilan, then pahig na kami talagang maging minority forever.
Okay, Senator Lacson, I think I wanted to ask you just very briefly, speaking of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, how do you address criticism coming from some members of the minority that when you were chairman, you were soft on former House Speaker Martin Romualdez? You went on a certain direction and you were criticized as not pursuing it. What's your answer to that, sir?
That is not true. Because former Speaker Romualdez, kasama sa recommendation ko to be investigated I even went farther. I-recommend ko siya para ma-freeze yung mga accounts, ma-investigahan siya ng AMLAC. So hindi totoo yun. Propaganda nila yun And I invited, sabi nila, hindi ko ini-invite si Speaker Romualdez. No, that's not true. Yung records will bear me out. Pinadala namin siya ng invitation to the Speaker. Ini-invoke ko doon yung interparliamentary courtesy, which again, Senator Marcoleta, tinutwist niya ini-embellish niya Kung siya raw ang chairman ng Blue Ribbon, imbitahan niya raw diretso, pipilitin niya raw. Then, gawin niya ngayon, vice chairman siya, pilitin niyang patin yung mga congressmen. he keeps contradicting himself. When he was a congressman, he was defending Vice President Sara. Sabi niya merong interparliamentary or interdepartmental courtesy na umiiral.
Oo.
Bakit daw hindi ina-afford kay VP Sara yon? Tapos pagdating niya sa Senate, gusto niya i-throw out of the window yung interparliamentary courtesy. Gawin niya ngayon. He is now the vice chairman. So imbitahin, pilitin niya, and then i-move niya to be cited in contempt of the committee, of the Blue Ribbon Committee. Tingnan ko kung gagawin niya. Tapos ang isang
alright.
scenario, what if the House would investigate his SOSE? Ano? Ipapakontempt siya, payag ba siya? He's so inconsistent,
Okay.
Karen. Ano? What is, kung ano yung what will suit him, yun ang kanyang sinusundan. Kaya ang dami niyang salto eh. Every time magsasalita siya, mag-i-invoke ng law, mali. Kaya ngayon meron siyang
Okay.
problema ngayon because amin siya ng amin. Di ba nga sabi ni Ombudsman Remulla, most of the evidence or the pieces of evidence that they gathered to be used against him for investigating him for plunder and indirect bribery, galing din sa kanya eh. Admission against interest in his own TV program. Amin siya ng amin. Sabi niya, congressman pa ako noon. Binigyan ako ng ganitong halaga. Hindi pa naman campaign period. You know, in hindsight, paisip niya sana inamin niya na lang yung campaign contribution yon, violation lang ng Omnibus Election Code yun. Eh ngayon, plunder pa binagsakan niya because hindi man lang siya nag-review na yung 7080, hindi lang government funds ang involved doon. Pag tumanggap ka ng gift by reason of your office, indirect bribery yon. Maski walang particular reason bakit ka tumanggap ng gift or pera. In this case, plunder kasi 75 million and series of acts because there are 3 individuals in a series of acts na nagbigay sa kanya ng 30, 25, 20, 25 or whatever amount. Ang total 75. So that's plunder because it's above the threshold amount of 50 million. Series of acts, and then, he admitted against his own interest na tinanggap niya. Kaninong problema yung kaninong kasalanan? Kung in hindsight, sabi ko nga, kung mag-iisip-isip siya, sana inamin ko na lang yung violation ng Omnibus Election Code, bailable, tapos pwedeng perpetual disqualification, tsaka mahabang istorya. Nag-admit siya sa plunder. That's his problem.
So you're saying he's like a fish caught by, it's like a fish caught by its mouth. Ganon, he's condemned by his own words.
He's a fish caught by his hubris.
All right. Well, on that note, I want to thank you once again, Senator Ping Lacson, for joining me on Head Start. And I do hope to have you again, sir, live, hopefully, one of these days.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. In regards to DJ, we've been communicating, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Karen.